Hello everybody, my name is Umpimete, also known as Re. I'm a math and science tutor, and it's been a while since I uploaded my video. It's been a while, but then I'm finally back. So today I'll do functions for grade 12. So I wrote my questions on this other paper, so I'll read the question, but this question will also be on your screen, and yes, and I still do sessions. So if you want to work with me, check the description below and we'll take it from there. You'll see the link of my socials and all. So let's start. So for functions, right now I'm doing functions. So firstly, for functions, before you can answer the question, before you can go through your diagram, always read the statement above. Okay, so here's the statement. The statement says the graph of f at x is equals to log base 4x is drawn below. Okay, yes, it is drawn below. So we are given the coordinate of b, which is k and 2. So k is the x value of b, 2 is the y value of b. It's a point of f. Remember, when they say f, we refer to this f at x, right? So far we know we are given this function and we are given the coordinate of b, right? Now you have to check your diagram before you can check your questions. So here is b. We can see b is on the first quadrant. First quadrant is where y value is positive and x value is positive. So but we can see that our y value of b is 2, so which means the y value here it's 2. Okay, and here we don't know the x value because we don't know the value of k. So if you have an unknown like this, they will ask you to calculate the value of this unknown. Most of the time, to calculate the unknown is the first question. Actually, all the time is the first question, because if you don't know this unknown, how will you be able to answer such questions? Because here, remember, we have one value. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So let's check question 1. So question 1, it says, oh, I folded my paper. So question 1, it says calculate the value of k. You see, k, it is unknown. Remember, is from the value of b. Okay, so let me show you this well. Remember, k, it is the value, it is this from our graph. You see this b, okay. So okay, let me do this so that everything can appear. Okay, so we should calculate the value of k, and you see it's 2 marks. So before you can, because I know some, they will stress themselves and say, what should I do? Like, I should calculate the value. Where should I start? Okay, here's the thing. Always use what you are given, because they don't just give you the coordinates, they don't just give you the function and ask questions. They ask questions and they want you to use what you are given. Okay, so remember, from the statement, we are given the f at x, the function, the f at x, and the coordinate of b only. So which means I will use these two things to calculate the value of b, the x value of b, which is k. Okay, so okay, let's answer now. So let's do this. So for number 1, remember, our f at x is equals to log base 4x. and we have the coordinate of b. Okay, so now we will use this coordinate k and 2. Remember, these are the coordinate of b, so I will substitute them on this function. Okay, so remember, f at x, we can write it as y log base 4x. Okay, so where I see x, I will substitute k. Where I see y, I will substitute 2. Remember, when it comes to the coordinate, this is like the x value, this is like the y value. Okay, so now I will substitute. Okay, my y value is 2, so I will write 2 here. Log base 4 k. Where I see x, I write k. Where I see y, I write 2. Then I will substitute. Remember, when it comes to logs and you want the unknown, I will have to take the base to the opposite side, and the log will be removed. Okay, so as soon as I take 4 to the opposite side, these two will be in an exponential form. This is like I'm changing log into exponential form. So as soon as I do this, the log will be removed. Then I'll be left with k. So as soon as I do that, which means I'll be left with k is equals to 4 to the exponent 2. You see? So now I can calculate the value of k. So k then will be equals to 4 to the exponent 2, it's 16. So the value of k is 16, and we can see k is positive. Like we said on the first quadrant, that's why x value should be positive. Okay, so k is equals to 16. That's our answer. Then you get 2 marks for that. You see, it's not difficult. Right, so let's continue. So number two, it says determine the x value of, okay, let me do this. Okay, determine the values of x which -1 is greater or less than f at x is greater or less than 2, and it's 2 marks. So I will write it here, since then I don't have enough space. So remember, it's number 2, and number 2, it is also 2 marks. Okay, so now remember, we have to determine the value of x. Okay, so of x which -1 greater or less than or is equals to f at x 2. Okay, so remember, our f at x, it's here, log base 4x. We don't change it. Okay, so now I will write everything, but here I will write the original function. So now here I will have -1 greater or is equals to, remember, my f at x is log base 4x greater or is equals to 2. Now I want the x values, remember. So now for me to get the x values, what I do this side, I will also do this side. So you know what will happen after this step. You don't know. Okay, so I will take 4 to the opposite side. So it's like I'm calculating the value of x, but I will do it on both sides. You feel me? This is the same as log base 4x is equals to -1, and another one will be like log base 4x is equals to 2. Then you have to calculate the value of x. This is the same as that, just that they are placed together. You see, so I will take 4 to the opposite side. What I do here, I will also do it here, but remember, we don't have 2 4s. Just that, like I said, this is the same as we are given this part and we are given this part separately, just that they combine them. Okay, so as soon as I take 4 to the opposite side, we'll have, remember now, if I take this base to the opposite side, it will be a coefficient. So it will be 4, then this one will be as an exponent. So I change it into exponential form. So the sign doesn't change. Here I'll remain with x, and what I did there I will do it here. So here I will have 4 to the exponent 2. You see. So now I can write my final answers. So 4 to the exponent negative 1, it will be a half. Not half, I mean it will be in a fraction because of this negative value. Okay, this negative exponent. So it's 1 over 4, and 4 to the exponent 2, we all know that it's 16. So 16, there is our answer. So this is our answer. Then we are done. This is the x values that they are looking for. Determine the x values of which there's, okay. So yeah, if you didn't hear the question properly, I can repeat. Determine the values of x. I don't know what's happened to my camera, but everything is just zoomed, and I can't adjust it right now. So but you can see the question. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this was 2 marks. So 2 marks, probably they'll give you a mark for this and they'll give you a mark for this, but it's very important to write it like this. If you do it oppositely, they will penalize you. You'll get wrong marks. So always make sure you leave it in the standard if it was given in the standard. Okay, so let's do number 3. So number 3, it says write down the equation of f to the exponent negative 1. This is the inverse. I didn't say the inverse, I said to the exponent negative 1. For those who didn't know, so that they can know. So as soon as our f at x, it is written like this, which means it is the inverse. It is not the one for the original function. But they made it clear and say the inverse of f in the form of this, which means our final answer, we should leave it in this form. Okay, why? The question is, do you know how to inverse? Remember, when we inverse, when we want the equation for the inverse, we should swap. Okay, we should swap the x values and the y values, because normally it will be x and y, right? So you have to swap. Okay, so now here we are given the log. Remember, our equation is this here. Okay, so now let me write it here. F at x is equals to log base 4x. So remember, f at x, I can write it as y log 4 days. Okay, so like I said, I have to swap. So where I see y, I will write x. Where I see x, I will write y. Okay, so now, which means if I swap them, I will have x is equals to log base 4 y. You see? So after this step, after you swap them, the purpose actually is to make y the subject of the formula. So remember how we are dealing with logs. It is very important to know how to change log into exponential form, because this is what I'm going to do even here. I don't know your upcoming exam, but for sure, if log is there, you'll have to change it in exponential form, but depending on what question, like what do they want. Okay, so since then we have this, I swap them. So the next step, I'll have to take this base to the opposite side, and this, it will change, it will be an exponent, which means I will remain with the coefficient of 4 to the exponent x. Okay, now let's do number 4. So number 4, it says, for which values of x will x multiplied by the inverse of f be less than 0? Is it greater or less than? Yeah, be less than 0. Yeah, less than 0. So remember, any number, remember on this line, if I put numbers here, they are integers, right? I'm talking about like -1, -2, -3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are integers. But numbers before 0, numbers that will be here are less than 0. Okay, so on this question, they want us to write down the values of x, which will be, okay, remember the inverse of this is this number, right? So now you can test it with your calculator and say, okay, check 4 to the exponent, let's start with -1 and see. You see, this number is less than 0. This number is less than 0. And if I substitute the other ones, it will be less than 0. So our answer here is going to be x is less than 0, because the values that we are talking about here are negative values. So that's how it is. Then you get 2 marks. Thank you for watching my video. If you like it, please subscribe, and more videos are coming soon. Thank you.